Cyclocosm, top 5 reasons why I'm not watching your top 5 video. Number 5, why are you talking so slowly? Number 4, Ken Burns effect. Number 3, powered by Megalize. Number 2, how long does it take to say 5 things? Number 1, the Week in Bike is on. Does that even make sense? I mean, we're on YouTube. It's not like you can't watch The Week in Bike and then a top 5 video from some other top 5 Tour de France snubs. Oh, okay. That's gonna be a thing this week, huh? Tom Bonin, you said it yourself, bro. Team doesn't need you. Dan Martin, have fun focusing on the Vuelta. Cadell Evans, maybe you can get a mid-season transfer to Team AARP. Nasser Buhani, you might not be tired from the Giro, but we're tired of dealing with you asking us for more money. Brad Wiggins, win the Tour of California and the British TT Championships? Whatever, bro, it's complicated. Oh, I'm sorry, were you done now? You good? So remember last week when I said the UCI's nothing out of the ordinary comment didn't necessarily mean they'd followed all the rules? Well, the same French newspaper that broke the story is now reporting that the UCI's TUE commission consisted entirely of Dr. Mario Zorzoli. So it turns out that I was kind of right. Top 5 ways the UCI mishandled the Froome TUE story. Withheld information from the beginning that was almost certainly going to come out anyway. Attempted to sidestep valid concerns by challenging their questioners' motives. Engaged in a public discussion and then said it was unprofessional to engage in a public discussion. Failed to name or establish an appropriate venue for dialogue. Never answered the question of whether Zorzoli was the sole member of the TUE Commission. That one actually wasn't so bad. Before I'm bombarded with another vacuous top 5 list, I'd like to give a shout out to this week's t-shirt donor, Kirkley Bicycles. A while back, I wrote a very well-received Tumblr post about buying a dream bike, and as far as custom builders go, these guys really fit the bill. They custom mold their own tubing, custom machine their own dropouts and disc mounts, custom paint every frame. They have literally never made the same bike twice. There's a link to their website in the video description, and I assure you it is worth it, if only for the bike porn. Moving on to the women's side. Top 5 women's cycling things. Number 5, there's a women's Tour de France this year. Kind of. Number 4, yeah, I knew I'd get you with that one. So it turns out the women's Giro actually starts before the men's Tour de France, a week from today, in fact. Not seeing a ton of previews, any previews actually, plus the news section of the Giro Rosa's website is broken, but Pro Cycling Stats does have a pretty substantial start list and course preview. The opening stage prologue is a dead flat out and back 2K time trial. I'm thinking probably a mix of TT specialists and sprinters. I'd tell you to try and maybe look for pirate feeds, but even that's unlikely. The now one-day Women's Giro del Trentino took place last weekend, and Cycling News' article about the race being shortened was literally infinitely longer than their report about the actual race. Good job! There's a full write-up at the Trentino site, and Google Translate makes it seem like Orica AIS's Valentina Scandalara attacked repeatedly before escaping a small group in the closing 600 meters. Finally, if you've got a few minutes to kill, the Outer Line has a sensational interview with Inga Thompson, an American female road pro from the 80s and 90s. The main gist is that USA Cycling's recent batch of terrible is not an isolated occurrence, although the same names do seem to keep coming up. But it's also interesting to note that Thompson has her own stories of hard-fought mayhem through the Alps. It's the sort of thing that makes it tough to view the new Women's Tour de France as a step forward. Unless, of course, we're talking about marketing budget. On to men's results, the last of the pre-tour races wrapped up this week. Top 5 impending doping scandals to the Tour de France. Come on. Sky and Sergio Henao. Broken kneecap? A little too convenient. Tinkoff Saxo. So many strong finishes suspiciously close to the Tour. Chris Horner. Back so soon. And what about your teammate Diego? No, stop. Just stop. See, this is why I hate the Tour de France. It's like, if you think about... No. Fine. Top 5 reasons I hate the Tour de France. Everyone's watching. Holy crap. Eyeballs. Let's all turn into BuzzFeed. At Roubaix, the first person across the line wins. On any given tour stage, the first person across the line probably has no impact on the overall title. Corollary. Racing is confusing, but doping stories are simple, so let's just talk about who's on drugs. The Tour dominates the rest of the season, to the point that almost every non-classic is effectively Tour de France practice, and thus not worth winning if you're a Tour de France favorite. Finally, the big GC moments almost never involve anything tactical. It's just power, and in fact, we're lucky if the GC riders are next to each other when they start to make the difference, instead of minutes apart in a time trial. I'm Cosmo Catalano, and that's Cyclocosm Top 5. No, seriously, that was the Week in Bike. The episode's over.